Okay guys, so we're going to start today with our upper body and core workout with pull-ups or press-ups. There's loads of parks in every area across the country with good pull-up bars if you fancy going outside. If you're not going to do that, you can obviously do press-ups instead. Make sure you keep that core nice and tight and try to avoid swinging. With the press-ups, if you're doing a full press-up, pivot at the feet, keep your core nice and tight, head and chest right down to the floor. Don't let that spine drop down in the middle. Really, really important to keep that nice straight line right away from your head to your feet. If that's something that you struggle with, and lots of people do, to get that explosive movement, don't be afraid to do your press-ups on an incline. You can use a sofa or a chair just to make it that little bit easier. Take your chest right the way down to that bench, keep that core nice and tight, and keep that nice straight line all the way from your head right down to your feet. Next exercise is the Arnold Press. You're going to start with your knuckles facing outwards on those dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, don't worry, you can use a couple of bottles or a couple of tins. You're going to twist them and then push up explosively, driving your feet through the floor and keeping your core nice and tight through the movement. Just adding that twist is going to give this exercise an extra dimension. So there we go, with knuckles outwards, twist, drive up explosively, down with control. Keep that breath nice and controlled as well. Make sure you don't hold your breath. Nice deep breath out. Here it is from another angle. Squeeze that core nice and tight. There's the twist. Push upwards explosively, down with control. So that's the Arnold Press, and our next exercise is the Sabre. This is a single arm bent over row. Great exercise for working your back and shoulders, this, and it's a unilateral exercise, which means you get a chance to address any muscular imbalances that you might have in your body. You're going to work one side, and really, really important to swap sides when you've done your reps on one side and work the other one, making sure that if you are using a substitute for a dumbbell, you make sure that the weight is the same on both sides. The next exercise is a Renegade row. Different type of row. This one really going to test your core because you're going to be in that sort of high plank position, keeping your hips facing forwards. Really squeeze as you draw those dumbbells up into a row, sort of twisting from side to side. If you can keep your hips facing forwards, as I say, all the way through the movement, really squeeze that arm back into a row and draw that weight up. So that's the Renegade row. The next one is a tricep extension. You're going to have your weight behind the head and you're going to come over in a sort of arch movement. I've got a split stance here. You can see my core working through the movement. I'm taking my arms in an arc all the way up, so it's not a movement from the elbows. The tricep is doing all the work here. Take it as low as you can without it being uncomfortable behind the head, and drawing it over in that arc. Really squeeze those core muscles as you do this exercise. Another great core exercise, the Paloff press. You've got a resistance band at your disposal. You can do this anywhere. You're going to twist from the core, bring it in, keeping that tension, back out and turn all the way out in front of you, keeping those hips facing forward. Draw that band in and rotate at the trunk. Draw it into your chest. Then we're going to move on to our core exercises. You've got your Vsit. You're going to hold this for as long as is comfortable to do so. Really keep those abdominal muscles nice and tight whilst you're in this position. You're going to have your feet facing out in front of you, creating that traditional V shape. Arms out in front of you, chin tucked in, and you're resting back on your tailbone. And the last exercise is an X plank. So you're going to get yourself into a high plank position, feet on the floor, and you're going to reach back towards those toes, creating that